Hi everyone and welcome to the channel. My name is Adrian and in this video I'm going to set up and review the Kelty Discovery 2 tent. I like this tent a lot. I picked this up yesterday at REI for 80 bucks. In fact, we got two of them. I got one for me and one for my girlfriend. But there's a few things about the tent that I don't like, and one of them's a deal breaker for me. So after I do the setup and review today, I'm actually going to return this tent and pick up a different one. But I figured I might as well do the review and show you the tent to help you make a decision if you're thinking about purchasing one. All right, let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's weigh the tent. And this is everything that comes with the tent, including the instructions. Okay, 5.5 pounds. All right, let's measure it. So, all right, so if I really compress that down, it's about, if I compress it as tight as it'll go, it's about 17.5 inches. And let's see here. Well, that compresses in pretty far. So I can get that to about 5.5. About 5.5 or 6 at the widest end, and yeah, about 5 at the narrowest end. So those are the dimensions. And here's what it comes with. So we've got the stuff sack, first and foremost. And then we have these two pieces of fabric that hold everything together. Those. Let's unroll it. Okay, then we've got the actual tent itself. Here's the tent. We have the rain fly. And we have two bags. One holds stakes and the other holds the tent poles. Comes with 8 stakes. Right there. And my guess is you'd probably want to upgrade these to something a little higher quality. I haven't used them, but they are probably not great. Then you have 2 poles for the tent to hold the tent up itself, and then you have a pole for the rain fly to keep that out over the door a little bit. All right, now I'll show you how to set the tent up. All right, so to set the tent up, you take one of the poles, put it into the sleeve here, the nylon sleeve on the corner. Do the same thing to the other side over here. Pull into the corner. And yes, I am setting this tent up inside because it is raining outside, and even if it weren't raining, there is snow all over the ground. So the studio it is. And we just bend the pole, put the other pole on the other side. Okay, so with the tent poles in place and standing up, you can see the tent basically can stand up on its own. It's a freestanding tent. You don't have to stake it in, which is one of the reasons I bought it. So now let's connect the middle. That goes over both poles, and then there's 3 of these clips for each side of the tent. Okay, so now the tent's set up. We have this last bar that we need to put in, and this is for the rain fly. And this just inserts into these 2 grommets right here. There's 1 grommet there. And then you just bend it and kind of force it into this other grommet. And because there's an outward pressure on this bar, it'll hold itself here. You don't need to worry about that falling out when you put the fly on. It holds itself just fine. So now let's put the fly on. So the fly has this orange strap on it, and this orange strap pairs up with this orange pocket. That's how you know that the fly is facing the right direction. All right, see, so orange to orange here, nice feature. Get all sides strapped in. And then once all the corners are strapped in for the rainfly, you take the bar and just push it up and underneath the front here. On the back side of this canopy, there are 3 pieces of Velcro that you can use to tie around this bar, but I'm not gonna do that just for the sake of speed here. All right, so now that I have the tent set up, I'm gonna walk you around the outside and point out some of the things that I like about it, and then I'm gonna take the fly off so more light can get into the tent as I'm showing you the inside of the tent, because it's pretty dark in there even with this fly off, even with these big bright lights shining on it. So there's the tent. And the fly has these guy lines attached to it. So these are tied onto this piece right here, which is a nice feature. We've got one of those on each side. We've got these little mechanisms here to tighten it. Here's the back. You can see the rain fly arcs up in the back. It doesn't go all the way down. On both sides, it goes down quite a bit farther. You can see it goes down to here. So that's nice. The front, that's how it looks on the front. And the rain fly comes out over the canopy, or it comes out over the bathtub just a little bit. I mean, it's almost in line. If I put the camera right above it, you can see that it's almost in line, but it does come out just a little bit. So now I'm gonna take the canopy off and show you the inside of the tent. Okay, got the canopy off. Here's the tent. You can see that there's mesh on the tent that really covers quite a bit of it. So here's mesh that goes up one side, it covers the entire top, goes down the other side, not all the way to the bottom, but quite a bit of mesh. There's a nice rain flap on the door here, and the door goes all the way around. Find the zipper. It has 2 zippers on it. Get this untied. This is kind of tricky to do with one hand. Step on it. There we go. Maybe. There it is. It's a lot easier with 2 hands. Okay, so now let's go inside. It's pretty dark in here. Let me see if I can reposition the lights to make this a little better. Okay, I got the lights repositioned, so hopefully it's a little bit brighter in here now, so I can show you the inside. And the first thing is, let me just lay back and show you the mesh. So you can see there's all the mesh right there. That's how far the mesh covers. I like that these sides aren't full mesh. That helps to keep a little bit of warmth in. Of course, that depends on the climate that you're camping in. This might actually be a disadvantage if you're in a really hot environment. But for me, I do a lot of camping in the desert, so this is nice because it helps to keep some of the dust and dirt out. And on those cold nights, keep some of the warmth in. Here's the zipper on the inside. Again, you have 2 of these zippers. So this part always hangs up on me, not because it's a bad zipper or because it's a bad design, just because I'm doing it one-handed, trying to film it while I do it. It just catches on the rain flap on the outside, and it's not a problem if you use 2 hands, but with one hand, it's pretty tricky. So I'll go back from this other side. Yeah. All right. You have this window, this little ventilation window on the door, which is nice. It's got 2 zippers as well. So the top zipper and a vertical side zipper right here. And then you have these little things to retain the door once you have the door, if you have the door rolled in. On each side of the tent, you have this pocket right here, and it's mesh on one side and then just solid on the other. And this is on both sides of the tent, like that. And here's me sitting up in the tent. So I'm almost 6'2", and I'm sitting up pretty straight. And you can see I've got a pretty good distance above my head still. That's probably about 5 inches, I would say. Now let me tell you the thing that I really don't like about this tent, that for me is a deal breaker, but for most people is not gonna be a problem at all. And that's the length of the tent. Again, I'm almost 6'2", and when I lay down in this thing, both my head and my feet hit the sides of the tent. Let me show you that. So here's me laying down. You can see my feet are hitting the side of the tent, and my head, when I'm laying flat, the tent is resting on my forehead. And that's, for me, a problem, because if it's raining hard outside, I don't want the rain to soak my head at night or soak my feet. And something that makes it really problematic is that the rain fly, it arcs up on the sides. So even though it goes pretty far down, it curves up a little bit, and my head and my feet actually poke out from under the rain fly. So if it did rain, it would probably soak through and soak on my head. So that for me was just one of those things where I was like, you know what? Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna buy a different tent. And the tent that I'm thinking about buying is the Nemo Aurora. That tent has a way that the sides, like the sides right here, they're pushed outward. I guess they're pulled outward rather from one of the crossbars that come over, because the bars come up, they come up and then they kind of come up into a Y shape, and then there's just one bar that runs over the top like that. So you don't have this problem because this is pushed out. And if this tent had this section pushed out, it would be great. I would keep this tent. I think it'd be awesome. Okay, another thing in the tent is that you have these loops in here. You have 5 of these loops that are in line with the clips on the outside that connect to the bars. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 5th one is right here in the middle. And online, the tent says that the length is 88 inches, but I measure it at 86 inches. So let me show you that. All right, so get the measuring tape all the way from one seam, and then push it back all the way to this seam. That's probably kind of hard to see with this lighting, but hopefully you can see that. So yeah, it's, you know, I have to actually push the measuring tape to get it to stretch to 86 inches. And I can't even push my tape hard enough to get it to go to 88. It just breaks my tape. So 87 is the absolute maximum that I can push it. And I'll show you this. Take that off. So that's how hard it's pushing in to one side to get to 87 inches. And that is how hard it's pushing into the other side to get to 87. I don't know if that's gonna read on camera, it might be too dark. All right, let's get out of here. So you can see that zipper pull is a lot better with 2 hands. All right, so there it is. Overall, I'm really happy with the tent. I think it's a great tent. It feels well built. It feels like it's solid and it's sturdy. The stitching seems good. I like everything about it except for that it's not long enough for me. If it were, I'd keep it. I picked it up for 80 bucks to REI. I thought it was a great deal. I think it's a great tent for that price. It just isn't long enough for me. So if you have any questions about the tent, drop a comment. I'll do my best to answer all of them. If you own this tent and know things about it, drop some comments with anything I left out or anything I missed so everyone can read those. And yeah, I hope you found this video helpful. Be sure to like the video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.